Here's the anime collectible that started me off with buying Bonanza Sailor Moon cards. This binder contains a whole lot of cards, and it focuses on the PP, Graffiti, and Card-S sets. Starting off are the PP cards. I vowed at the very beginning of my collecting days that I would not try to get every single card that was made, because not only would that be just totally insane, but the funds it would take to get just only the ones I wanted would be quite hefty. And unlike some collectors who only collect character cards, I preferred to get a variety of characters instead of just focusing on one, which actually is a lot easier to do, but I enjoy seeing the different types of art, and so that usually required me to get different characters instead of just one. These were my favorites when I got them in this particular set, just because of the whole pretty factor. And of course, Prism cards tend to cost quite a bit more than regulars, so I try to limit how many prisms I would get. It helped a little, but overall it was very recommended to find deals when I could. This set is the PP11, which was the first set of cards that I bought. These are not my favorite images, but for nostalgia's sake, I keep them. It's a bit too much pink for me. And the images are not quite as varied as I'd like. But hey, you gotta have a set like that in a huge thing like this. Here are some PP13 cards, which are one of my favorite sets because of the villain cards, which don't show up anywhere else. This set is a bit weird because it's 14, but it'll merge into a Part 2 14 set, which is the Stars series right here, and it's a different season than the Super S just before that. These Stars prisms are my favorites. Out of all the prisms that I've gotten, which is a pretty hard decision to make when trying to pick most favorites out of this massive binder. Stars did not get the same treatment as previous seasons, and so these cards focus mainly on the first couple episodes of the Stars season and not the entire way through. It's really too bad. There are some characters I would have liked to get. Here we have the Graffiti cards. Graffiti cards are pretty nice because there's a good variety of serious and studious expressions, as well as really goofy ones such as this and this, which don't show up too often in the other sets quite as frequently. I also like the Graffiti cards because most of the ones that I have here are focused on the first and second seasons. I also really like how the R movie has a pretty big focus here. The other sets that are available don't focus on the movie quite as extensively. Here we are with the S season and the introduction of the Outer Senshi. For some reason, graffiti cards tend to cost me more when I was getting them, and these Outer Senshi cards were no exception. This is the only Michiru card I have that has her in the initial uniform that we are introduced to her. It's kind of strange to see her in that light blue uniform since she's always wearing the Mugen version. Oh, S movie here. I love this expression. It's definitely a sign of friendship, despite lots of tongue. Ooh, here's the Outer Senshi page. I didn't plan it that way, but it seems like that from here. Super S series. This is my favorite graffiti set. There's a very big focus on the Outer Senshi. The Jewel set, which is mainly Starlight dominated. And finishing off is the wedding set. Everybody in gorgeous, gorgeous outfits. Here are more Sailor Moon cards from my collection. These are the vending sets. I find that these vending sets have a lot more stylized borders, and the early ones have this sort of newspaper theme going on with the Sailor Moon news header. There's a lot of good opening cards for the R season as well as the first season. I really like the villain cards in this set. There's also a pretty good number of royalty cards. They tend to cost a bit more than regular cards, seeing as there are very few royalty cards. This is sort of my favorite page because it has a mix of royalty cards and a nice section of villain cards. Now these vending cards were kind of funny for me to get because not only are there Japan-made versions, but there are also Hong Kong-made versions. And the Hong Kong versions are actually official. It's just that there are some slight color variances in the Hong Kong version, which are only noticeable if you happen to have both versions side by side. And it's just a slight variation on color shade and not hue. There's some cool cards from the last few episodes of the... Oh, leading up to the last few episodes of the S season. Some pretty cool Saturn and Hotaru cards. She is the rare Senshi, I like to call her, of the sets, because she doesn't show up very often in the series. There's some S-movie here. A nice little human Luna and Takeru image here. Here starts the best arc of the S season, which subsequently are some of my favorite scenes. And ending this binder, the Super S season.